So life gets stuff sometimes. You have shit that comes up. You have injuries. You have just life events, holidays, everything that comes in the way. And it's really easy to get discouraged whenever you have an off day, whenever you have an off week, or whenever you have an off month. And especially with the holiday seasons that just happened. But just keep in mind that in spite of all the crap that gets thrown our way, don't give up. Don't lose sight of what you set out on this journey for. We all have our goals. Don't forget them, and just know that we're here to support you. But just don't give up whenever the going gets tough. You're the only one that's going to push yourself forward, so stay in the fight.
Very well said. All right. So, I'm Dustin.
I'm Mitch.
And this is the Fat Man Podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys.
So I want to start this off with our Veterans Highlight. So today's Veteran Highlight is sponsored by ML Productions. We want to thank Sergeant Andrew Alt, Staff Sergeant Andrew Alt from the 438th Chemical Company. Thank you for all your years of service, and thank you for all you do.
Sergeant?
Make sure you give Staff Sergeant Andrew Alt plenty of love in the comments, and just show him some support. Show him some support. So we just had Christmas, and we just had New Year's. So
yep. Lots of time off from the gym, unfortunately.
Yep, we've had a little bit of time off from the gym, and we've had plenty of time to indulge ourselves and eat like shit. So what was your hardest day on this past 2 weeks of being sporadic at the gym and kind of going ham on the holidays?
So the worst day would definitely be New Year's Eve. I started off the evening with an entire cheeseburger deluxe pizza from Footers, and then had a big container that had 4 of the iced cinnamon rolls. I ate all 4 of those, and then I had like 4 iced honey buns, a Pringles container of Takis chips, had a Pepsi. I had some whiskey, a Beatbox hard iced tea. I mean, I went overboard. It was ridiculous. I probably put on 3 or 4 pounds.
See, on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, I ate like crazy. Like I ate like it was going out of style, and I ate pizza, which you know how pizza fucks with me. And I always lie to myself every single time that I can eat pizza. And
I remember, not to cut you off, but the day in the gym when you were there and you had some pizza prior to going to the gym, and you ended up calling the gym night short. Yep. Because you were about to shit your pants.
Yep, it doesn't agree with me, and it pisses me off because it's my favorite food in the world. But I was like, you know what? It's Christmas Eve. I'm gonna have some. Which I think if I would limit myself to like 1 or 2 slices, I'd probably be okay.
But who does that?
Yeah, but it was just so good. It was so good. But I definitely was. I could have done better. I didn't watch what I was eating, and I tried to eat better on the off days, on the other days that weren't the holidays. But still, I know that I put on a few pounds between now and when the holiday season started.
Uh-huh.
You know, before we got started in this, I would have, given up. I would have said, you know what, I've messed up. What's the point in continuing with eating good or whatever? I've already fucked up, so I might as well just stop, and I'll start again on Monday.
On Monday, yep.
It was always Mondays. But, it really used to mess with me a lot. But today was our first, we had a day last week, and or 1 or 2 days last week, and then we had this week, and where we got back into the gym, and I was actually really craving going to the gym. I've missed it, and that's one thing that I'm really proud of, both you and me, that we've been able to stick with it. So what's one thing that you guys watching this have struggled with whenever it comes to the holidays? Is it the food? Is it not going to the gym? Is it getting back started? Please let us know in the comments.
I feel like the excuses that we've made to not go to the gym have been superficial, like not really worthy of not going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you have the ones where you want to spend time with family, you know what I mean? But like Wednesday, I didn't go to the gym because it was New Year's Day. Well, guess what? You know what I did New Year's Day?
What?
I slept all fucking day, off and on. I napped on my recliner, off and on, all fucking day. Yeah. I mean, I had every excuse to go to the gym because I didn't do shit, but it was a holiday. So I was like, oh, I'm taking the day off, you know? So, I mean, it's okay to take time off from the gym once in a while, but just don't go overboard with it. Know your limitations and know that it can potentially turn into a snowball effect.
Oh,
it's very simple. So limit your time off if possible. If you want to take some time off for the holidays, that's completely fine. But just know that after about 2 or 3 days, after about 2 or 3 days away from the gym, you need to get your ass back in the saddle and get going because it'll spiral out of control before you know it.
And the biggest thing, it's not even about losing gains, because let's be real, we've had time off and you just got a PR on at the gym, you know.
I had one tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Like you did really. I was really proud of you. But it's real easy to feed yourself bullshit, you know. Like
it's easy to make excuses to yourself about why you need to stay home.
Exactly, and like that's the thing is, it's more about keeping up the habits. And like I just wrote I just finished my book called Don't Be a Bitch. And it in that book, one of the things that I talked about is habit forming, building those habits and keeping things going, because you know building those stable habits is what's going to push you through when the motivation stops. So for me, if you're like me, whenever the longer I stop, I have a break in something, the more the easier it is for me to build excuses on why I shouldn't go, or why I can't go. And like you said, at the end of the day, 90% of the reasons that we have on not going to the gym is bullshit. You know, we have a saying in the military, I'm sure there's this saying somewhere else too, but excuses are like assholes. We all have them, and they all stink. And that's the biggest thing, is just don't give up on yourself, because at the end of the day, it all rests on your shoulders, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that I was feeling rough this week.
Oh, definitely, yeah. I've felt like a bag of ass all week, actually, because not just because I've taken time off. You know, I'm not like this fucking gym stud that if I miss a day, I feel like shit. But mainly because of the things that I was consuming. Mm-hmm. I went way off my diet, but it's again, it's one of those things that. It's okay once in a while, you know. I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I'm not going to kick myself in the ass and be like, oh, I screwed up. I'm going to start next week. No, I ate like utter shit all day New Year's Eve and just got back on the saddle today. So, you know, keep striving. Sure.
Since we've been at the gym, because I tell myself this lie sometimes. Since we've been at the gym, and we work out really hard at the gym. Like, I'm proud of the work that we do.
Yeah.
But I lie to myself sometimes. I'm like, I work out hard enough, I can eat whatever the fuck I want. And
on occasion.
Yeah, well, my occasion will be like a week or two, and then I'll step on the scale, or I'll put on one of my shirts or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm lying to myself. I'm feeling, because I think just a couple of weeks ago I feel like a fat back, and it's because I've been eating like shit, and I can definitely tell, but I've been lying to myself and telling myself that I'm bulking up, which I am, but just not in the right way.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's really,
well, I'm bulking too, so
yeah.
And I know that I said in a previous episode that I was going to start my cut December 1st, but unfortunately I didn't get to where I wanted to be in my bulk to start. So just for those of you watching, know that I'm not on my cut yet. I'm still bulking. I'm not to the weight that I want to hit. Once I hit that weight, then I'll start my cut.
But no, I definitely lie to myself a lot, and that's why it's nice having an accountability partner to pull my bullshit out sometimes. You know? And so what's the biggest lies that you guys tell to yourselves? I'm just curious. Leave it in the comments. We want to know, because we lie to ourselves all the time.
I do that a lot when I have a shit meal. And again, like I said, it's okay to have a shit meal once in a while, but every time that I eat my shit meals, and I don't eat them often, you know, I eat like maybe one a week.
Yeah.
sometimes that's too much, depending on how much you work out. But at the frequency and the the frequency and the level at which we work out, one a week is okay. Yeah. But every single time I have a shit meal, I lie to myself and I tell myself it's okay to eat this because I work out hard and I'm just going to burn it off. That's not really the case. A shit meal is still a shit meal. Oh, yeah. And, you know, just because I'm working out and burning off doesn't mean it's okay to eat it, because if I didn't, I'd be making that much more progress. You know what I mean? Because you could work out for a whole week and have one shit meal. Well, then we go 4 days a week. Well, if we work out for 4 days and I eat one shit meal in that week, well, then I've backtracked to like 2 fucking days. So
I think at least
I could get more gains if I ate less shit meals. On a week is too much.
Historically, for me, since we've been on our fitness journey this past year and a half, me doing the 80-20 rule has worked out really well.
Yeah.
This is one of the lies that I didn't even realize I was telling myself. So before, I have always used my 20% whenever I have my boys on the weekends, and I typically have them every other weekend. Well, it dawned on me, I've had them every weekend for the past 2.5 months, every single weekend. And so then every single weekend these past 2.5 months, I've been eating like dog shit. I try to eat the best that I can throughout the week, and there's always room for improvement. And some days I don't do as well as others, but then I give myself those excuses on the weekend. And this past weekend, I was like, listen, I can't eat like this anymore, because I can feel it. Like, do you feel it in your body whenever you eat?
Oh, for sure. I feel, even though I'm not necessarily gaining a lot of weight, I feel a lot heavier. Mm-hmm. I feel sluggish. Yeah. I feel slower mentally, like a brain fog, essentially, when I eat shitty foods. It's one of those things that you don't realize how much of a difference it makes until you do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like if you eat shitty food all the time, you don't notice it. You know what I mean? But then when you change things up and you have a bunch of good meals, you know, for consecutive days on end, a couple weeks, and then you go back and eat one shitty freaking meal, you feel it a lot. And you're like, damn, I didn't realize what this shit was doing to me. But unfortunately, even though I know what it does, I still do it.
Well, like that pizza. I immediately after I was done eating it, like. What is it that I think Richard Simmons said it? You can be miserable for a moment and have a lifetime of happiness, or you can have happiness for a moment and a lifetime of misery. Mm-hmm. Well, I took that moment of happiness, and then immediately afterwards, I was miserable for the rest of the day, because I not only ate like crap, I overindulged too. So like, it was definitely rough then. Mm-hmm. And then I was really excited to get into the gym this week. All week long, coming into this week, I was super excited. And then Monday happened. So on Monday, I was helping my dad bring in a furnace to on a job site, and me and my brother, we had this furnace on the cart, and all of a sudden, my feet slipped out from underneath me on one of those old slimy decks, and the whole furnace came on top of me, and it pushed my foot. My toes touched my shin and hyperextended those tendons that I had torn a year ago. And so now I'm on a boot. And so going into this week, all week long, I've been like in a shitty mood, because today is Thursday, and it's our first day back. And so all week long, I've just been like, I fucked up. I can't go to the gym anymore. I'm going to lose all the progress that I've made. And this morning I was taking my boys to their moms, and my middle boy, he's 13 years old, and he's starting to get really interested in going to the gym, because he sees what we're doing. And
well, if he's ever on an extended break from school, we should bring him with.
Is he old? He's 13. Is he old enough to go with us?
I think it's 15 with parents.
Okay.
13? I thought it was 15.
Well, he was looking at me.
15 to be a loader.
No.
Well, he was looking at me and asking me all these questions, and he was like, I can tell you a big difference in you since you started going to the gym. And he was like, I'm proud of you, Dad. and which hit me
Right in the feels.
because like kids don't usually. I mean, they're focused on themselves because they're kids, and that's what kids do. But they don't. I don't usually. I'm not used to hearing that from my kids, you know, and I don't look for that from my kids. But it gave me a perspective, like they're watching everything we're doing,
And that's what I was going to say. It doesn't matter who you are. There's always somebody watching your progress.
Oh, yeah.
They may not ever tell you. You may never hear a word from them about it. But there's always, always, always somebody watching you and your progress.
Well, today it definitely was like it was one of those things that I knew I needed to hear today. And so like I took them back we left the house at like 6:15 this morning. So the whole way home I just got thinking about it. I was like, you know what? We're going to get it good today. And we had a good workout.
Oh, yeah. Real good.
I'm really excited for next week. But in spite of getting, I think that it's important. My whole point is I think that it's important to take care of yourself whenever you have an injury. You know, you've suffered with an injury with your hernia. This isn't my first time that I fucked my foot up. And, I mean, you have to give your body time to heal. That being said, it's just my foot's messed up. My arms aren't. My back's not.
Yeah.
Just isn't. So, like, before, where I would give myself so many excuses on, I've hurt myself, I can't go to the gym, which I felt I was falling into until my 13-year-old son said that or caught me out.
Snapped you up.
But it's really easy to let those excuses get the best of you, and there's always a way to work around it. So even if you fucked your leg up or if you've broken your arm, or there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, you may not be able to work that particular part of your body, but you can work other things. And so I mean that's important to remember. Don't let the excuses take over your life, because they'll creep in really
They will. Don't milk your injuries. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's okay to take time off and nurse your wounds, but once they're to the point to where they can be kind of let off a little bit, get your ass back in it. Like when I had my umbilical hernia, I took, about a week off to let it rest and pushed it back in as best I could. And I need surgery on it, but I'm just stupid and won't do it. And after I took,
hurt yourself, you should go get it checked.
yeah, definitely go get it looked at, get it fixed. But I've tailored my workouts around my injury. I mean, I don't do deadlifts and I don't do squats anymore, unfortunately. I'll still do leg presses, but I don't do squats anymore because of the hernia and deadlifts. But I still do heavy bench. I'll still do rows, and I do everything else. So,
and that was, if you remember, whenever that first happened, you like immediately started falling into that.
Oh yeah, I was pissed.
You were pissed, and you were like, "I can't go to the gym. I can't do that." And I was like, "No, we're going. We may not." You hated it. I know it because
my first day back, all I did was walk around the track, and I got on the elliptical, I think, for like 10 minutes.
We did that for like the first week.
Yeah, it fucking sucked. I hated it.
And because like I said, it's those habits. When you break the habits, it's easy to fall back into your old patterns.
Yeah.
And even if you're not going to the gym to lift, just being there makes all the difference in the world, because
well, it took a big part of me away. I mean, I'm not a professional by any means, but I'm a power lifter. You know what I mean? That's what I do in the gym. So being that I had that hernia, I couldn't do any heavy lifting for a while, and that took a huge part of who I am away, and that sucked. That's why I was so pissed about it.
But I'm glad that, because if there was 2 times that I think that we could have stopped, was this, and then when the hernia happened.
Oh, for sure.
Like that was.
Yeah, if it hadn't been for you, I definitely would have fallen victim to the bullshit of, and now I have an injury, I can't go to the gym anymore.
And like that, aside from it wasn't just my boy's, words of encouragement that he unintentionally gave me.
Yeah.
It was also the thought of not letting you down. Having a gym partner definitely makes all the difference in the world. And I think that if you're one that doesn't need a gym partner, that's great. But like for me, it keeps me accountable, because I'll lie to myself. I know that it's my pattern. I'll make excuses, lie to myself, do everything I can to justify not going to the gym. And at the end of the day, we all have time. Like, even if you have the busiest schedule in the world, it's not about going to the gym, but doing something fitness related. We all have time to to be able to put a little bit of work into ourselves, because we only have one body, and we don't get another one of these. So you might as well take care of it while we can. And so, yeah. Long story short, I'm glad that we started going.
Well, and that's one of the reasons why I put that post on Facebook asking for a gym partner, because I realized that, I mean, I've been going to the gym for several months by myself, and I've been consistent, but then it started trailing off. You know, I was like losing my momentum, and I realized that I was starting to take too many days off, and I was like, I need to fix this. Well, the only way I'm going to do that is if I have somebody to keep me accountable. And I tried asking friends, you know, and my brother and stuff, and my brother's, he's in good shape, but he's not a gym guy, you know. He likes to ride bikes and jog and shit like that. Yeah. So I had a few guys from work that I asked to go with me to the gym, and they just didn't, you know, they couldn't keep it regular. So I was like, all right, I'm going to throw something on Facebook. I need somebody to keep me accountable for my shit so I can stay in the gym. And lo and behold, here you are.
Yeah. I'll tell you, it was, like I said, it was the best decision that I made, that I instantly regretted. But now I'm glad that I like instantly I was like, fuck, what was I thinking? But no, on top of what my boy had said this morning, the other thing that really got me, it was like everything. This morning when I woke up, I was really shitty. I was grumpy. I was hurting, and it was like everything was just like stacked against me. Then I heard those words from my boy, and like that really pumped me up. I was like, all right, I got to do something. And then whenever I got home, I seen that video from Kaylin Warland this morning, and I mean, she's
got you fired up.
I just gotta say,
got you pumped.
She's done an awesome job. We're gonna have her. We're gonna do a interview with her on the podcast here in the next couple weeks and stuff.
Yep.
And but yeah, well, she lost 165 pounds, and
she's a badass. That's all I can say. She is an awesome chick.
Yeah, and I'm so excited to hear more of her story, and I think that you guys will really enjoy it and just get something really positive out of it. But she went on and talked about, you know, staying motivated and building those habits and all that stuff. And but yeah, it was really great, and it was like exactly what I needed to hear today. And going to the gym, it definitely was a good way to start my day off, and especially after being so discouraged this past week. Yeah,
and not to give too much away for the podcast that we're going to do with her, sir.
I'm trying to mute
Mr. Switcher.
We won't be able to hear it.
I'm sorry.
No, we can't hear it. It's all right. You're fine. But not to give too much away for the podcast that we're going to do with her, but she does that. I don't know exactly what they call it. The bungee exercises, dude. That shit looks awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, what we're talking about, but you're strapped basically to a bungee cord to the ceiling, and you bounce up and down and run and jump. And dude, it looks like something you would do as a child, for at a fun zone or some shit. Exactly. And it looks awesome. And she's asked us to come along and try it. So one of these days we're gonna do it, and we're gonna film it, and you're gonna get to see us get our fat asses up there on the bungees and have fun. It's going to be exciting.
One thing that I'm also excited for is, so she's interested in learning lifting, and so she's going to jump in on a couple sessions with us. I'm excited to just having somebody else to work out with. I always enjoy having whenever, like when Levi comes with us, and whenever you've had Bryce come out, and you've had a couple people come from work, and I always enjoy having the extra company and all that stuff. And the one thing that I think is cool is that I've learned so much from you over this past year and a half on whenever it comes to lifting. And
I'm glad I could help.
So now it feels really cool being able to help share some of that knowledge.
Yeah,
that I've learned.
definitely.
Because if you remember when we first started, it was always like, hey, what are we going to do today? And now it's like, hey, this is what we're going to do today.
Yep. Well, just like today, you showed up and you have made out a new, I guess you could say, gym regimen or a workout regimen. Excuse me.
4-week plan.
Yeah, a next 4-week plan. You haven't showed it to me yet. Surprise! This is what we're doing on Monday. But based off of all the knowledge you've learned, you're now coming up with all the exercises and shit.
Well,
and I think that's awesome. I like it.
Between working with you And then working with H2F, like,
Yeah.
I mean, you showed
Yeah,
me
they're ridiculously knowledgeable.
you showed me how to do the exercises and what muscle groups they work, and they helped show me efficient ways to be able to get the most out of our workouts. And between both things, like
Couple on those together.
every time that we've done these workouts, these workout plans, I mean, we had some significant gains from it, and it's been awesome. And we're not spending 3 hours in the gym.
Right.
We didn't work out for 3 hours. I just
No.
want to clarify.
No, but we were definitely there way longer than we needed to
We
be.
bullshitted for most of that time, but still, we didn't have good time management whenever it came to gym.
Right.
And I feel now we went from 2.5 hour workout sessions to we're down to about an hour and 15 most days, sometimes an hour and a half if we're bullshitting a lot. But I mean, we've gotten our workouts down pretty good, and we're tuckered at the end of it too. So
Yeah.
I mean, they're really great workouts.
I feel like I'm gonna have a little bit of soreness tomorrow,
I
based off
definitely feel that.
the shit we did today.
Oh, absolutely. One thing that I really got from H2F was so before it was like we knew the function and the proper form, but it was like they really harped on the tonnage that we put on our body and overloading our body too much. And I think that we definitely were doing that in the beginning. And I feel like now that we've kind of worked it in on getting our reps and our sets and our rep range down and adjusting our weights accordingly, I've seen a lot of progress. I'm finally getting shoulders. It's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't have those before, and so, but no, I've noticed significant progress since doing that, and I'm excited for this upcoming week. It's gonna suck.
I'm ready for it. I don't even know what it entails, what it all is involved in it, but yeah. You're fired. You're fired.
Is he not switching?
No, he's not.
You son of a bitch!
I don't know what he's doing over there, but he's off in his own little world on his. Is that your iPad you got going on there?
It's hard to get. It's hard to get good help.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good thing we're not paying you for this. No. Whoa.
I don't like how you
Pause.
said that.
Pause.
I
Yeah.
don't like how you said that. He said
I don't-
one day we won't need any of his fingers. I don't like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's too much. That's too far. This is PG-13.
Yes. This is a family podcast.
Yeah. Who did?
We don't curse on this podcast. What are you talking about? This is PG-13. This is PG-13. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
So when we first started this podcast, I was like, I think I'm probably gonna when we cuss, I'll just bleep us out, not censor what we bleep us out. And that first podcast episode, I started bleeping, and there was one like a long spiel that you did. It was like, so I was beep and beep and beep and beep and beep beep beep. I was like, we're not beeping anymore.
Yeah. YouTube's probably gonna never monetize us because of all the curse words we throw out. But really, they don't care. Oh well, fuckity fuck. No. Yeah, no, it's not. No.
I'm glad to be back at the gym, and I'm glad to get past that hump. Luckily, this time, this is the shortest hump that I've had, as far as like a hindrance that's gotten in my way, and I don't think I would have done that if we hadn't already developed those those good habits. If I hadn't had a reliable gym partner, and then finding those words of encouragement, like they make all the difference in the world.
Definitely.
And because I think that it's real frustrating, and it's easy to get frustrated whenever you're looking at the mirror every day. It's easy to get frustrated whenever you're looking at the scale every day, and whenever things don't line up in your life. It's easy to forget all the progress that you've made. But one thing that I think is important is progress isn't only made on the scale. Progress isn't only made on how much you can lift and how far you can go. Progress is made all over the place. And if anything, you've been in the gym for 6 months, a year, 2 years. If there's anything that you can hold on to is you've made progress in being accountable to yourself. You've made progress in forming those good habits and making the change to do something better. Because
For sure.
one thing that we've all fallen into is if you've been like us, like we've struggled with our weight for however many years. And one thing that I know without even asking you is if you don't make the decision to change, you're choosing to stay the same.
Yep.
And so we've all done that. And if you're watching this podcast and this resonates with you, just know that make those little progresses, those little wins, because they add up to big wins in the long term. So just hang in there, because you'll be proud of yourself tomorrow.
Definitely.
Yep.
Very well said. Confucius. Confucius says, work out harder.
So
But to touch a little bit on what you were saying about progress, progress, like you said, doesn't happen overnight. So just know that even if you're frustrated, you're showing up at the gym every day, or you're working out at home, whatever the case may be, and you're not seeing progress, it's because you're looking every day. That's the problem. So when you and I took our progress photos, we did whatever, 3 months, 6 months. It was 6 months.
So the first one was 3 months.
Yeah, the first one was 3 months, but then we waited and we took. Yeah. So I didn't see. I wasn't focusing every single day, but I was looking every couple days at myself, and I wasn't seeing the progress. But I was like, I mean, I knew, that it's going to take time, so I didn't get too discouraged, but I was still disappointed, Yeah. So that's the biggest problem that a lot of people run into is looking at the mirror and the scale every single day, waiting on that progress to show. And if that's the case, if that's what you're doing, you're not ever going to see it, because we took our initial photo and then our 1 year photo, and there was a drastic difference in that year. I didn't put on a shit ton of muscle, but I lost a lot of weight, and I defined myself. I got more definition and everything. There was a huge difference in day one and 1 year. But I didn't notice that throughout the year.
I noticed a lot in your face, a lot in your shoulders, and a lot in your arms. Like you could see that in those pictures, like they're night and day. And
yeah, I think we posted the photos on the first podcast episode.
Yeah. And here's the other photos. Here's the photos of us being fat.
Right here. Oh, the
wherever it is.
The switcher's not looking at me, so yep, over here somewhere. There we go. Our guy that switches the cameras is falling asleep back there.
You're doing a great job.
Proud of you. But like I was saying, I didn't notice the progress because I was looking. I was looking for that progress every day, every couple of days. So I didn't really notice. I noticed the progress, but I didn't know to the extent that it was until I looked at those pictures, the day one and the day 365, and I was like, holy shit, I made a lot more progress than I thought. So don't get discouraged, because the progress is there whether you see it or not. Like I always said in the beginning, it takes roughly, a couple of weeks for the first bit of progress to be noticed, but you're not going to notice it. It takes, what I say, like 30 days for those around you to notice, and like 60 days for you to. I don't remember what
you had said that it takes 30 days for you to start to feel difference.
That's right. Yeah.
It takes about 60 days for you to start to see a difference. It takes about 90 days for others to start to see a difference.
Yep.
And it's true. So I was talking to this. This wasn't fitness related, but I was talking to somebody today. They were interested in getting into video and getting into to social media and all that. And they're like, well, I'm just not ready yet. And somebody I've heard this. I know a million other people had said this before too, but so many people wait to start. And they're waiting to start to be great, but you gotta start to be great.
Yep.
Like that's what's the saying? You don't have to be great to start. You have to start to be great.
Yep.
And so like that applies to the gym too. So many of us were like, well, right now is not the right time. Right now is not like I'll wait whenever time's better, or whenever my schedule works out better, whenever the kids are better, whenever life's not as busy, or whenever I learn this. The biggest thing is you're going to learn 10 times faster, 10 times more by going and doing the thing than going off and doing all your research. Like, you've done so much research, and you did so much research prior to going to the gym.
Yeah, a lot.
But how much time did you waste in that time that you were doing the? I know, in a sense, how much time did you waste on actually focusing on putting in the work for your fitness, whenever you could have been doing that and gaining the knowledge at the same time?
I don't really consider that a waste because it was the start of my journey, and so I was doing the research to find out what to do safely. I didn't want to just jump into the exercises and start working out and risk injury. Because
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, so you said that you had spent about 6 months doing research prior to going to the gym,
right?
And but had you said, say you spent 2 or 3 months doing research, but while you were doing research, as you're learning the thing, you learn and then you do.
Right.
How much more progress do you think you would have made in that 6
Oh,
months?
a lot more.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like that's my point. Not to not do research. My point is to, it's great.
Implement it as you learn it.
Implement it as you learn it, because, like, for me, I did it whenever it came to video. Like, I bought myself a camera, and for like 6 or 8 months, I didn't even touch the camera. It was just nothing but YouTube videos throughout that whole entire thing. And then I came across this big time videography YouTuber named D for Darius, and he was like, "Stop watching YouTube to learn this. Watch, for every video you watch, go out and do it. Do the thing that you learn, and then watch another video and go out and do the thing that you learn. Don't be a YouTube hero.
Mm-hmm.
Go out and actually implement the knowledge that you're trying to gain, because you'll learn so much faster." And that was the truest statement that was the best advice with my career that I ever did. And I wish I would have had those 6-8 months back, because I'd be 6 or 8 months further along than I am right now.
Right.
And but I think that goes with everything in life. Just do the thing. Just go out there and do it. Because, like I said, you don't have to be great to get started. You have to start to be great.
Yep.
And that's.
And boy, are you great.
But no, overall, I think today was a great start for the New Year's. I was actually really surprised not to see that we didn't see a whole bunch of newbies at the gym.
Yeah, that really shocked the shit out of me. I mean, I fully expected to go in there and see the gym just packed assholes to elbows, because normally around this time of year, you go in the gym and just everybody and their mom's there. And like I said in the previous episode, statistics show that those who make those New Year's resolutions to go to the gym usually stick with it for about 3 months and then they stop. So, I mean, I welcome new people. It's not like one of those things, oh, great, all the fucking new people are going to be there. The more people there, the better. I mean, it kind of sucks because then you got to wait on equipment. But I like seeing people take the initiative and show up and care about their health. And I'm not an expert by any means, but if anybody comes up to me and asks for advice, I'm going to give them what advice I know, what I have. I'm never going to turn anybody away and be like, fuck you, noob, or, just chastise them for not knowing anything. I'll help anybody I can, but I fully expected to show up today and just see the room, like I said, assholes to elbows. And I think I saw 2 people that I'd never seen before. And I was like, that's weird.
And they weren't
it was
even
weird.
there for very long.
Yeah.
Last year, if you remember last year, we had to wait for like 15 minutes to touch any equipment. Like we couldn't, and it's frustrating because you want to go, you have a time frame and you want to go in there and do your thing. But like you said, I love seeing new people, because I was a new person not that long ago. I had never stepped foot in the weight room, and I was a newbie. And I think 2 things. I think with starting in the gym, and we've talked about this before, you have that gym anxiety. A lot of people get that gym anxiety that people are going to look at you and they're going to judge you. Nobody gives 2 fucks what you're doing. Nobody, and I mean that in the best way. Everybody is focusing on trying to do better for themselves.
I mean, you see, not to interrupt, but you see all these videos on YouTube and Facebook and all that shit of people recording people doing stupid workouts. But those are the assholes in the gym, and they're few and far between.
And I will,
Most of the people in the gym are there to work on themselves. They're not worried about what you're doing. They don't notice you. They don't notice the dumb shit that you're doing if you're doing dumb shit. And if you have questions, ask them, because more than likely they're going to help you.
yeah. And if you're at the YMCA at 7:00 and throughout the week, those guys that show up there, they're some of the coolest dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're wonderful, and they're so encouraging. We've learned a lot.
I have never come across anybody in the gym that I was uncomfortable. Let me rephrase that. I have never come across anybody in the gym that I would be uncomfortable asking advice to.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody I know in the gym, if I had questions, I could ask them and they'd give me good, honest answers and be okay with it.
And like that's the biggest thing is like don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid that people is going to judge you, because they're not. We're not going to judge you. They're not going to judge you. If you're acting a fool, I mean that's one thing. But if you're in there and you're actually trying to learn and you're wanting to do better for yourself, that's what these guys. A lot of them, like Nathan at the gym, he said that he's to the point, he's been going to the gym for 30, 35 years. He's to the point where he just does maintenance for himself. But one thing that he loves to do is he loves to help give advice to people, new people that come into the gym. He enjoys doing that.
He said a lot of the reason he shows up is to help people.
Yeah, and he does. Like he's given us so many like valuable
Lots of
pointers,
tips.
and he's a big son of a bitch. Like I mean, he's defined. He's close to 60 years old. Or 50 years old.
Yeah.
He's close to 50 years old, and I mean he's the biggest son of a bitch in the gym.
Yeah.
Like he knows what he's
40.
doing. But no, my big point is don't be afraid to start. And secondly, whenever you go to the gym, I think this is, at least for me, from my experience in the past, one of the biggest things that made me stop after the 1, 2, 3 months of going to the gym is people go in there with a goal of, I just want to be skinny. And you touched on it on one of the tips and the 5 tips for 2025.
Mm-hmm.
One of those videos you did. One of the things that people do is they make this long-term goal, which is great to have long-term goals, but they forget about the short-term goals. Making like what's your goal for this week? What's your goal for the next 2 weeks? For the month? Like if you're starting in January, make realistic goals, like you said. Make a goal that you want to lose 10 pounds by February or March. That's a realistic goal. And
It's okay to have those long-term goals, to say, like, I want to lose 100 pounds. But you got to have short-term goals to get to the long-term goal. Say, like, okay, I want to lose 100 pounds within a year, but every month I'm focusing on losing 5 pounds. You know, you're not going to get to that 100 pounds in a year by doing that, but it's still you'd be surprised how much of a difference you'll see in yourself by losing 5 pounds a month for a whole year. I mean, a lot.
I mean, I lost over 50 pounds. You know,
Yeah.
It can happen, and that happened in a year and a half. You know, and I've been able to not just lose it, but I've kept most of it off. I've gained weight. Most of it has been from muscle. Some of it's been from bullshit too, but I mean, most of it's been from muscle, and I feel great, and I feel so much better than I did before. But it's like you said, it's making those small attainable goals to get to that long-term goal. Small wins turn into big wins every time.
100%.
Do you remember Daniels? His name was Armand Daniels. He was in our unit. So he was ISU basketball player.
No.
And
I don't think I ever met him.
so you probably have. It was during the time that you were in.
Name doesn't sound familiar.
It's a funny story about him. He joined the military because he lost a bet to his dad. He lost a bet to his dad. He bet on. I remember him telling me he bet on one of whatever his favorite basketball team was playing, and his dad's favorite basketball team was playing, and they made a bet. He was like that his team would win, and his dad's made a bet that his team would win, and he said, "Well, Dad, what are you offering?" He was like, "I'll buy you a car if your team wins." He's like, "Okay." He was like, "But if my team wins, you have to join the military." I guess his dad like retired from the military, and he was like, "Okay." And
He was a little too confident in his team, wasn't he?
his team lost, and he was like, "All right." He was like, "Oh, I'll drive you to the recruiter station tomorrow." He's like, what? And he was like, oh, shit. And so, like, I remember I just thought that was really funny.
Probably the best decision he ever made in his life.
I don't know how he feels about it.
Honestly, regardless of how he feels, it's probably the best decision he ever made.
But I remember, he had seen me. You remember when you were in watching me bounce back and forth between my weight. I've always been there. And I remember him saying, small wins turn into big wins. And for that's been over a decade ago. And I always tell myself that ever since I heard that, and it sounds so simple, but it's really, that's been some of the best advice that I've ever gotten was small wins turn into big wins. We take for granted all the little steps that we make along the way. We take for granted that, sometimes the biggest one that you can have in the day is just showing up.
Yep.
Sometimes the biggest one you can have in the day is getting out of bed. Like those are wins that we take for granted. And, maybe that first one is getting out of bed. Well, that getting out of bed gets you to throughout your day. Getting through your day gets you to the gym. Getting to the gym gets you one step closer to your final goal, and that goal is always going to develop and it's always going to change, but it's just getting started. But
the best way I can describe it, it's like running. So let's say you're gonna run a mile, right? Well, you don't start off from the start point and get to a mile just like that, right? You take small steps consecutively over and over and 2 foot, 3 foot steps, however long your stride is, but still you're taking small steps over and over and over and over and over and over and over consecutively until you get to that mile. It's the same with the gym. I mean, you're going to set that long-term goal of losing all this weight, but you got to get those small steps in consecutively to get to that long-term goal.
Yeah. So, but if you guys are watching, and if you could tell us what was one big one you had for today, whether that's fitness related, whether it's life related, please let us know in the comments. We want to know. Our biggest goal here is to build a community and let you guys know that we're here to support you. We've been where you are. We might still be where you're at, depending on where you're at in your weight in your fitness journey. But let us know in the comments what one win you had today, whether it's big, whether it's small. We want to hear about it.
And speaking of goals, also throw in the comments what your long-term goal is. And even if you don't have an idea of how to get to that long-term goal, if you have one long-term goal, if you have it in your head and you know what you want, throw it out there for us. Maybe we can help you. Maybe we can get you on the right track to put that first foot forward to find out how to get to your long-term goal. Make those small steps. That's what we're for. That's what this whole community is for. That's what this whole podcast is for, the whole Fat Man Project, all this stuff. We're here to try our best to help people progress as we progress.
Yeah, because we really do understand where you're at. We've been there. We've struggled, and maybe it's not been weight loss for you. Maybe it's just been fitness in general. And I mean, we've been there and we've had that struggle, and we still have our struggles. I think that one thing that Kaylin had talked about was today on that video was that it's so easy to get discouraged when you look on social media and you see people where it looks like they just snap their fingers and they have the perfect body that they've always wanted, and
they didn't wake up like that.
No, they didn't wake up like that, and they leave out all the hard work. They leave out all the ups and downs that they've had through their journey, and so that's one thing that we want to share with you guys is that we still have our ups and downs. I mean, we are far from having the bodies and the fitness that we want, but we're working towards it, and we're so proud of what we've accomplished so far, and we're excited to see where we go.
And we pride ourselves a lot on being transparent. Transparency is key for us. The biggest problem with social media is they leave out the transparency of things. Like he was saying, you'll see these people on there and they got the body of their dreams, and the only thing you ever see them post is positive shit. Them in the gym working out, getting PRs, or them on the beach looking fly, or having a hot chick next to them, or having this $1 million car. That's the only thing that they post. that's not life. That's not real life. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean you can't obtain those things, but it's going to take a lot of bullshit, hard work, and failures to get there. And that's what this whole Fat Man community is about, is just showing people that we have a lot of ups and downs. We fall short of our goals a lot of times. Yeah. We do things wrong. We screw up, but then we get back on the saddle and we ride that horse and we try our best to keep moving forward.
And the biggest thing is change isn't pretty. It's not. It's
not at all.
Ugly. It's nasty. It has its ups and downs. It has all kinds of bullshit through it. And, I mean, you do have some really high moments. Like today, how good did it feel to make that PR?
Oh, dude, it felt amazing.
You know, like
I felt on top of the world.
Yeah. You have those moments where you ride them. And then you have those moments where you just want to give up. Sorry. You want to give up.
You need to work on your mobility.
Quits. But you want to give up and you want to call it quits, and you get pissed off at the world because life's happened. And those are the things that I feel like we don't get to see whenever we're looking on social media, because social media isn't real. And as real as we want to make this, like there may be parts that, you know, things don't happen as quick as it appears. And I understand perception is people's realities, but we're trying to get as close to letting you know that, like, we're just on this journey with you. And so if you have a fitness struggle, or if you are trying to just make a positive change in your life and you want a positive place to be a part of, this is your place. I mean, we're just two stupid veterans that are trying to do the best that we can. Yeah,
we are filter free. We are bullshit free. We are lie free. We're just, I mean, every bit of our journey is out for everybody to see. The good, the bad, the ugly, the whole nine.
And we don't know all the answers. Like, we're learning a lot of this as we go.
Yeah, and 100%. Like, if you guys ever ask something in the comments section, or if you were ever on the podcast with us and you ask us a question and we don't know, we'll tell you. I don't know, but we'll find the answer for you.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I will say that we're very lucky is we have people that are in our lives or in our network that if we don't know the answer, there's some very knowledgeable people that we have contact with.
Oh, yeah.
We can find the answer. We talk with professional trainers. We talk to, you know, doctors, all kinds of things, like with H2F, at my disposal. So, like, if there's any questions that you guys do have, if we don't have it, we can find out the answers for you. But the biggest thing is we're on this journey with you. So come along, be a part of the Fat Man Project, be a part of the Fat Man community, and just know that
the door's open to everyone.
Yeah, and also we just want to thank everybody for just all the positive support we've gotten, and we have over 570
we got almost 600.
Yep, and so I mean we're on our way there, and so you guys can find us on Facebook. At the Fat Man Project page, if you want to be a part of the community, where we'll share a lot more information. Like, we have morning motivationals, we have recipes, we have all kinds of things on the Fat Man community group, and then you can find us on YouTube and on TikTok. So I mean, please come be a part of this. And if you have a fitness journey that you want to share, we're bringing on, like I said, we're bringing on Kaylin Warland. If you have a fitness journey you want to share, we want to share it with the world. We want to help inspire and motivate and support all of you while you guys are on your journey.
This Fat Man Project, Fat Man Podcast, Fat Man Community, it's not about us. It's about all you guys. So if you want to be a part of it, let us know. The door's open to everybody, like I said. And like he had just touched on, if there's some kind of motivation or quotes or journey that you were on that you want to share with everybody, let us know. We'll have you on here and we'll spread the word.
And one thing about the Fat Man community is you guys can post on there too. Like the page, it shows all of our content, but the community, it's for you guys. It's not just us sharing. If you have something that happened today that you wanted to share and you thought that it could help somebody, feel free to post on there. Feel free to share your videos, your photos, whatever it is. It's the group, the community group is for you guys, and just to let you know that you're not alone. We're in this with you. And lastly, we are trying to grow this page, and we're trying to grow this podcast and everything that we're doing. So please feel free to leave a comment and to any of the questions that we've left, or even just if you want to say hello. It definitely helps the algorithm. It helps us get this message out. And if this is for you, please, we would appreciate that support and all the support you've already given us.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
If this isn't your thing, that's fine too. Thank you for tuning in for this podcast, and we've enjoyed having you.
But if you do like it, like he said, throw in some posts, throw in some comments, throw down some likes, because that all helps it. That all helps the algorithm, and the better the algorithm, the more we can get out to other people. Yeah. So the broader we can make the Fat Man Project, the Fat Man community, the whole Fat Man podcast, all that stuff to reach more people, the better. And then, like I said, it's not about us. It's not about, we need to get popular. No, we just want to reach out to more people to help them with their journeys, to have them on here so they can spread their word about their journey and about their successes.
And one of my big goals that I think would be really cool is, I would like to eventually, as we grow and we build the community, to have like a community event. Like maybe we
for sure.
Maybe we do the Fat Man 5K, or we do
yeah, competition lift, just a small one.
Yeah, dude, we would love to be able to make this as big as we can, and make it not just a place that you guys can hang, but also a place that can be fun, and build these events and build these things for you guys. And because at the end of the day, as you guys know, as we get older, it's harder to build those communities as you get older.
We're gonna have a Fat Man community dinner. That'd be the worst thing ever. We'd all eat way too much.
No, we just come along for the ride. We've enjoyed having you.
Yeah, definitely.
But my name is Mitch Lunsford.
And I'm Dustin Carpenter.
This is the Fat Man Podcast.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. Tune in next time.
And remember, don't be a bitch.
Don't be a bitch. We love you. That was a good one.